But what percentage do so now? The answer is 40%.
Oh, that's right. The last 10 years alone has seen a 35% slump in foreign exchange trips by state schools, from a high of 75% in 2001 to just 40% today. Private schools do a little better. 57% of them offer exchanges. Yeah. You're watching The Right Stuff with Scott Capurro, Gail Porter and Dave Gorman. In a little while, our last discussion of the week. What do you make of the hotel chain offering customers a human bed warmer? If you wouldn't want a stranger warming your bed at home... why would you want one in a hotel? 0207 173 5555 is the number. Flea bags. But first, if foreign exchange trips were to become a thing of the past, would you miss them? Ooh. Would your kids? As we just heard, the number of bog-standard comps, New Labour's words, not mine, offering them has plunged due to the dwindling interest in learning languages that ain't not English and the rise of health and safety. Instead, 21st centuries can talk to Elga and Hector online via webcam. Whoopie-doo. Still, sounds a whole lot less traumatic than my foreign exchange trip. I got a wheezing French asthmatic member of Opus Dei who spoke even less English than I did French and wanted to spend a whole time together in church. Denis, his name was. God, thank heavens my parents pulled me out of the return trip. One of the girls on the team was telling me yesterday how she stayed with a German family with ein difference, the difference being mum was a hooker, and a procession of strange men would traipse through my colleague's bedroom to get to mein host's boudoir. Another was sent to a chicken farm in Nowheresville, France, where she was left to fend for herself. And yet another recounted her horror at being asked to bathe in her exchange student's filthy bathwater. Mind you, French people, you should be lucky they're having baths at all. Xenophobia. We love it. It's the only phobia you can get away with these days. True, some youngsters have a good time on theirs. Kirsty, she had her first fag. English version, not American.
Was he a helicopter pilot?
He was not a helicopter pilot. One of our producers had her first snog. Tried doing that on a webcam. What do you mean Leslie Grantham already has? Anyway, so who would miss the foreign exchange trip if they ceased to exist? Scott.
Well, my first year in Britain was spent as a foreign exchange student in Birmingham. I went from Southern California to Birmingham. And to me, it did seem glamorous because it was the first time I'd been out of California. But after about a week, I realized, oh, my God, I'm in Satan's Jap's eye. It was just...
I don't think you can say that.
Oh, sorry.
OK,
I take
we
it back.
apologise.
No, but Birmingham was bad then. It's nice now. But then it was... But no, it was a great experience. I ended up living with one of my lecturers, and we traveled, and it was fantastic, And the drama department of Birmingham was great at the time.
Did someone from Birmingham take your place in California?
No, because people from Birmingham aren't allowed to leave the country. But no, but I was there for 9 months, and I met all sorts of players, and that's really why I came back 10 years later to do stand-up, because I'd had so many friends here I missed.
So for you, it's
led to my being here with you right now.
Aww.
What a success story this is.
Gail, you've been sent down to England from Scotland. Are you enjoying yourself down here?
Yeah, it's all right. Today, I'm actually quite scared today.
Did you go on one?
Did I go? No, God, no. Our school didn't do things like that. Or maybe they did, they just didn't tell me. But no, I never went abroad at all. And I don't think I'd like my daughter to go on a foreign exchange trip nowadays. I think I'd worry about too many things. I'm happy to take her abroad. I'm happy to buy her guidebooks and we learn things. I don't really want her to go and live with another family.
There was one in the papers yesterday suggesting sending young children, I think under 10s, away for 6 months on a foreign
I read that.
exchange.
Hang on, it was... Yeah, Mum was actually letting her son go to France. It was going to be 6 months with a family he's never met and only allowed to phone her once a week.
Perfect.
Oh, you don't like that at all.
You get a break from those monsters. Isn't that what you all want?
I mean, that's quite hardcore.
But the only thing I can say in German is where's the railway station? And once I got lost and I was in Zurich and I was in the railway station and all I could say was where the railway station is. This is down the Bahnhof. I was like, yeah, I know, but I can't say anything else.
Mr. Gorman, did you do any exchanges?
No, we did a school trip to Italy, but we, not an exchange with other students. And
Just to go and
stayed
buy
in a hotel
flick
and went skiing and stuff. But, comprehensive school. I know people who did. My fiancée had an exchange student from Japan who came over and stayed with her when she was at high school. And they, not through the school, but because the two girls got on, they're still in touch. like all these years later.
That's amazing.
And her family, actually, the Japanese girl's family paid for my fiancée and her sister and her father to go over to Japan for several weeks as a kind of
Even
return.
better.
So, yeah, and they've stayed really close. It's been wonderful for them.
So do you think it should be a big part of education, that they should still exist?
I think the more we're aware that what we think is normal and what we think is right is a construction of our own, and that other people live differently, the better life is. And the more you're open to other things.
So, yes.
Yeah.
I think it gives you confidence to travel. I think it's a real ambition booster, too. And also, I wouldn't mind
Depends who
having...
you get. It really does depend who you get. Because
I mean, how much red tape do you have to go through? Because now, you know, you can't even have after-school clubs because
That's
you can't... And then how can you
That's
also
why
send your
that's why fewer and fewer
it
schools
must
are
get
doing it.
harder and
I've had a
harder and
couple of
harder.
16-year-old French boys stay at my house.
Yes, OK, Scott. OK, let's go to the phones.
Thank God for adult diapers, that's all I'm saying.
Kirsty, what do people say?
First, we have Jean on line 1.
Jean, good morning.
Good morning.
So, foreign exchange trips, what do you know about them?
Well, I went to Paris, or to France, when I was 14, and there were 500 of us went in from this organisation. We landed at the Gare du Nord. 499 were picked up by their families, and not mine. I was put into a convent for 3 days because the girl I was supposed to be going home with had played a practical joke. So I ended up in a convent while they traced her relatives, and they finally found an aunt and uncle in Paris. They brought the girl back into Paris, and I stayed with them for a month. And I have to say, I had the most fantastic time.
I imagine after being in a nunnery, you probably would have done, wouldn't you?
They were very good to me. They took me sightseeing when I was in the convent, so I can't complain.
Yeah,
And the food was good.
easily pleased, I guess. A load of old rusty ironwork wouldn't convince me to enjoy Paris, but there we go. Jean, thank you for the call. Let's have another.
We have Catherine on line 2.
Catherine, good morning.
Good morning, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. What did you learn on your foreign exchange trip?
Unfortunately, not much of the language. It was more about, there were about 30 of us went, and there were 2 teachers, and it was more about getting drunk on the ferry.
House?
Some of the girls were outside with random men that they'd just met. And then when we got there, it was more about learning swear words in foreign languages. And unfortunately, not many of the people actually spoke English, and we didn't speak hardly any French or German, so it was not very good experience. But it was good, but not for the right reasons.
But so, with that in mind, and I reckon your experience probably mirrors that of about 90% of people on foreign exchange trips. And we heard it all from the people at work when I was talking about this yesterday, and they kept saying, yeah, the real problem was they didn't speak any English, and I didn't speak any French. I said, well, that was the whole point, wasn't it? Bearing in mind your experience, do you think it would be a sad day if the foreign exchange trip became a thing of the past?
But they'd have to revamp it, I think, a bit to make it a bit more education rather than...
Oh, shut up! Education, education, education. Where's that getting the country? What does the audience think, Eric?
OK, this means Amelia, who, like me, didn't go on one, but do you wish you went on one?
I really wish I went on one. I wasn't allowed to go by my parents. They wanted me to continue my studies, and they're a bit worried about me going away. But I've had friends that have been on one, and it's really developed their confidence and their personality.
Do you know where were you going to go? Do you know where you were going to go?
I really wanted to go to a Spanish-speaking country because I understand Spanish, but I can't speak Spanish. And I thought that if I were immersed in that culture, I'd probably pick up the language at
So
such
you
a
were
young
thinking
age.
seriously about developing language skills, not sex, drugs, alcohol, cigarettes, swear
They would have
words?
just been bonuses. Like... but I think that any experience, as long as it's not completely damaging, is a good experience. Especially
Even some of
at
the
such a young
damaging
age.
ones are quite good, right, Scott?
Yeah.
Yes, they are.
Can I say, you don't need any help in developing your confidence. It's fine.
Well
You're doing
said, well said, well said. We'll have one more quick call before the break.
OK, on line 3, we have Alison.
Morning, Alison.
Hello.
Hello. Have you been on a trip?
Yeah, I went to Paris again when I was about 15.
Yeah.
Thoroughly enjoyed it. We went to Disneyland and all the rest of it.
Very
However, the
culturally
family that I stayed
engaging.
with were pretty horrendous.
What did they do to you?
Huh?
What did the family do to you?
We used to eat things like raw horse meat for dinner. Not a good
Okay.
look. At 9 o'clock, we weren't allowed to go out, so I used to pretend that I was really into fitness and
go running so I could meet everyone at the bar, all the other
I'm glad we attract viewers like this. It makes me feel that we're all singing from the same hymn sheet. So what's raw horse meat like? Scott?
A lot of work, but in the end, worth the effort, I think.
I got them to cook it. I got them to cook it and said, love this beef. And they said, oh, no, cheval. And my mouth dropped to the floor, as you can imagine. It all depends on the person, but I'd never send my kid on one, trust me.
Really? You wouldn't send your child?
Get checked out, and they're kind of... I don't know, I stayed in a massive high-rise block of flats in the middle of Paris, and it was hardcore, really.
OK. Well, yeah, OK, that kind of makes sense. Thank you for the call. Kind of serious note to end that one on. Let's see how serious we are with our final talking point of the week. The hotel chain offering customers a human bed warmer to slip between your sheets and get things nice and toasty before you get in. Who fancies the idea? Apart from everyone in the audience, or does it make you feel slightly queasy? 0207 173 5555 is the number for your thoughts. Human bed warmers after the break.